Yes, this is Dr. Stewart speaking. We need your help. Sir, you've studied giant animals. You had one in captivity, didn't you? Yes, that was 5 years ago. He might have been a young species of a gargantua. Attention! All aircraft are turned away! An alert! An alert! This is Tokyo Tower! Don't land!
He headed northwest and has reached this point. We will move headquarters out to the field immediately.
Hey, look! Another one! What's the matter? The giant! Get back to the car.
Send all defense units to the beaches.
And good morning, everybody. Welcome to day 30 of 31 Days of Monsters. Can you believe it? We've got 30 of these in the drawer already, and we're closing in on the final day tomorrow. Today, we're going to talk about one of the best kaiju movies ever to come out of Japan, and that is 1966 War of the Gargantuas. This is an interesting film because there's two versions, and the second version didn't really, nobody had seen it up until 2017 when it was released here. It was originally made in 1966 and released in Japan then, and then it didn't get over here to the United States until 1970, in which it was put up as a double feature with Monster Zero. Monster Zero starred another American actor, Nick Adams, and Nick Adams was also in Frankenstein Conquers the World, which is the direct, which War of the Gargantuas is the direct sequel of. But you don't get that from the version that we saw in the United States in 1970 or 1970 through 2017, because all references to Frankenstein were taken out. The names of these monsters were taken out, and they were replaced with, instead of Frankensteins, they were replaced with Gargantuas. And now you can watch it. Like I watched it yesterday on the, actually this morning on the Criterion channel, and it's the original dubbed version. And what I mean by that is that there was two versions. When it came over the United States, Toho had commissioned an English dub version from a company called Frontier Enterprises. And that dub version is the direct script of the Japanese version. And what makes it interesting is that they do refer to Frankenstein and reference Frankenstein Conquers the World it's a much better movie than the one we've seen for the last 30 or 40 years. It makes better sense. There's better characterization. The dialogue flows better. And we get a dubbed version of Russ Tamblyn. And even though he was the only English-speaking guy in the movie, that's an upgrade because he was walking through this movie. Which brings us to the original dub version, or the dub version that made it here to the United States in 1970, because the American co-producer, Henry Saperstein, commissioned a separate dub version from Glen Sound in Los Angeles. And this is the one that omits all the references to Frankenstein Conquers the World and calls them Gargantuas instead of Frankensteins. There's some additional footage in it that's not in the Japanese one. So it runs 92 minutes. And Russ Tamblyn's original dialogue soundtrack was lost in the production. So he was called back to redub all his stuff. But he couldn't, they didn't have the script and he couldn't remember the original lines. So he had to kind of like read his lips. And that might be part of why he seems so disinterested in everything that's going on around him. Although I have to say, his body language says it too. You know, the dude was cashing a paycheck for sure. But this movie's really not about him. The movie is great because of the Gargantuas. I've never seen monsters that moved like these guys. You know, I mean, Godzilla and any of the monsters from the Destroy All Monsters. You know, they were kind of slow and plodding, but these guys move fast. You know, they were running. The sequence where the green Gargantua is running across the airport tarmac is amazing. I mean, the sense of proportion, the sense of weight as he's running across that, and you hear that. I remember when I was a kid watching it, I thought, "Wow, this is believable to me." You know, that these creatures were so big. The monsters have names too. There's Sanda, which is the brown Gargantua, and Gera, which is the green Gargantua. And yeah, I never knew that until recent years, you know, because they were never referred to in the versions I had seen. Oh, what else? The words get stuck in my throat, you know, trying to think about stuff to talk about this movie. Oh yeah, there's that song interlude that takes place at the nightclub where the Gargantua, where the movie breaks, and we get this American songstress singing the song called "The Words Get Stuck in My Throat." A cute little ditty. She's probably a nightclub singer back in the day, and you know, trying to make stuff happen in her career. She also happened to be Carol Burnett's sister-in-law. I don't know whatever happened to her, but I always liked that sequence. You know, it kind of settled the movie down, and I thought it was really cool. Well, and another neat sequence in this film that I loved was the green monster, Gera. He ate people. You know, he was just, you know, he was eating people. And there's the sequence at the airport where he reaches in, he grabs this cleaning woman, and you see him like put her up to his mouth, you know, and he's chewing. Then this great sound effect as he spits out the clothes like that, and the tattered rags come out. And then I think one of my all-time favorite scenes in any kaiju movie is this one where the fisherman is thinking back. We open up the scene with Gera destroying the ship at sea with the giant octopus, which you saw in the trailer. But when one of the sailors gets rescued and is relating what happened, we get to see more. And so he flashes back, and he's talking about how all the sailors are trying to get away, and they're in the water. The boat has been sunk, and they're swimming away. There's this storm raging and everything. And the Gargantua is behind them, you know, chasing them through the water. Now he's standing and he's going through the water like this. And meanwhile, these guys are swimming, and they're trying to get away. The atmosphere in that scene and the sense of proportion is just incredible. I love it. I love it. It was scary as hell, too, to think that there you are. First off, you're in water. You're not in your natural element. You got this giant monster chasing you to eat you, sort of like Jaws. But yeah, so that's probably my favorite sequence or scene in the whole movie. So I hope you guys have watched this, because this is really a great giant monster movie. Can't say that about a lot of them. All right, let's see who's in the chat this morning. Our regulars are here. Man of War 665. Monster Fan is here. He says, this is one of my favorite kaiju films. The scene where the fisherman sees a gargantua looking up at him from underwater is one of the classic scenes of all fantastic cinema. Yeah, that's a pretty scary scene too, where he's looking down. Pop Culture Avenger is here. Good morning. This is one of his faves too. Hyper Kaiju is here. He says, awesome movie. Fearless Freep is here. Monster Fan. Rob Fellows is here. Rob says, to all you monster kids, Team Sanda or Team Gaira? I got to go Team Sanda. He was the good guy. That green one was a son of a gun. Oh, Hyper Kaiju likes the green one. The Sin Killer is here. Greetings, sinners. How are you doing today? I'll be here just for a bit. Unfortunately, it's lunchtime, and the wife will call me soon. Let's have a great time. And by the way, I'm in Portugal. All right. Well, thanks for tuning in. What is that, 5 hours back? Or 5 hours ahead, rather? Yeah, I guess that would be lunchtime, wouldn't it? Stat Zero is here. He says, good morning. Good morning, chat. And it's raining in Portugal today. Well, it's raining in Western New York, too. It's been raining since yesterday. Good day to hunker down and watch monster movies, right? Revan Saber is here. Delaware Comics Dude says, ahoy, Comicsgate. Prater 7 says, good morning. The Normie Nerd, good morning, Graham in chat. My favorite Japanese monster movie, but Gamera is my favorite monster. Oh, that's cool. I was never a huge Gamera fan. Man of War 665 says this used to pop up occasionally with other giants on Saturdays on our local creature features, but when we would get Godzilla, Gamera, or this was a special treat, right? Those are the good ones. Thrim says, only one more day of monsters. Boo. Not true. Not true. By popular demand, we are going to continue this, not as a daily, but as a weekly show. So we're going to do Monster Mondays. Every Monday will be Monster Monday to start your week, to start your horrible week. So be the same time, 8 o'clock, Monday mornings, we'll do Monster Mondays. That'll give me the weekend to choose something and watch it and prep for it. So that'll be fun. I have a poster of this movie signed by Russ Tamblyn and Haru Nakajima, who was Gaia. Oh, cool. He also played Godzilla in the first few Godzilla movies, too, if I'm not mistaken. Tamblyn, by all accounts, was a royal pain in the ass on this movie. He didn't like the script, so he was ad-libbing, and that caused all kinds of headaches for the director, Ishiro Honda, and the translator. Like I said, I think this was pretty much a paycheck. I used to act out running down the airport tarmac in the living room, shaking my arms in the air. I think Gera is the scariest of all the kaiju monsters. Something about him being really fast and looking vaguely human. Yeah. Wouldn't it be cool if they remade this movie, with the effects they have today, so that the faces were more emotive, less plasticky? I think that would be really cool. Which one is a good one? The brown one, Sanda, is the good one. Gaia is the green one. In the alternate version, is anything explained concerning the instant pop-up volcano? No. No, it just happened to pop up. Isn't that what happened in Rodan too? Or did they fly into a pre-existing volcano? I forget now. But maybe volcanoes pop up a lot off the shores of Japan. I don't know. It was like the ultimate nullifier of kaiju movies. Sin Killer says that song, the words get stuck in my throat, should be used to torture terrorists. Yeah. Yeah, the day I wake up with that in my head as an earworm, it's all over. Hyper Kaiju says IDW did some decent Godzilla comics in the early 2010s in which Godzilla fights the Gargantuas. Wow. Wouldn't that be cool if they brought that into the Godzilla universe, the American Godzilla universe that they started a few years back? They showed all those monsters gathering in Godzilla King of the Monsters, which was really good. It was the best of the American Godzilla movies. Kong vs. Godzilla. Oh, my God. Horrible. Rob Fellow says, all praise the King of the Monsters, but it was really refreshing to watch a Toho film without Godzilla. Rodan is a really good one. That one's a really good one. It's their first color, Toho's first color film. And Rodan's never looked better. It's a sad movie, too. Old Dirty Fatty says, hail. Agent Cub says, good morning. Any of you guys new to the channel, please hit the like button and subscribe. Let's get this channel growing. I don't push it enough. So I need you guys to push it. Let your friends know, too. We got some fun stuff coming up here. Delaware Comic Dude, I first saw the Gargantuas in, I think, Godzilla against Mechagodzilla. They show a flashback of him. Is that true? I've never seen that movie. I stopped watching the original Godzillas probably after Destroy All Monsters, which was 1968. No. Godzilla's Revenge was the last one I saw of the originals. And then the next one was Godzilla versus the Smog Monster. I tried watching that. I hated it. Godzilla was getting to be more ridiculous. So I tapped out and then didn't come back until like the 80s when they rebooted Godzilla. But I like the original run right up to Godzilla's Revenge. If I remember right, one of them was the father, one of them the son. Well, it's really more like a clone. The brown Gargantua was the original one, and they figure he scraped off some of his cells in the water, and that it washed out to sea, and the plankton fed it, and then it could reproduce through its cells, cellular reproduction, and that's what gave rise to the green one. So I guess they're sort of brothers / clones. Pop Culture Avenger says horror movies on all day and night on Turner Classic Movies today, as they should be. I hope there's some good ones. I'll have to check the schedule. Dr. Mass says, "Hail, Graham, running late on this one." You must be you, because I'm not running late. It's Saturday, so it's 9 o'clock. Liquid Blake is happy to hear about Monster Mondays. It's not going to start this Monday. It'll start the following Monday, because I'm going to be on the road this Monday. So the following Monday. So this Monday's the 1st. So it'll be what, the 8th? Monday the 8th. We'll start that. I'll create a new banner for it and everything. So that'll be fun. Predator 7 is happy to hear about Monster Mondays. I can't deny my monster fans. The demand was there to continue on. So Merry Christmas. Or Happy Halloween, I should say. Stad Zero says, "That's a treat. I love these shows and the storytellers too." Yeah, the storytellers is gonna reboot up too, starting next week. I put that on hiatus while I was working on these daily shows, but storytellers will start up again. Actually, the first one will be next Tuesday rather than Wednesday, because I'm going to have Shane Davis on, and he's closing out his Inglorious Rex campaign on Wednesday. So we're going to have him on Tuesday, talk about storytelling, his working at DC, and his Inglorious Rex project. Manowar says, "So, arm twisting pays off. Not sure the nuggies would work on Nolan." Monster Fan is happy to see we're going to do Monster Mondays. Excellent. Oh, nice. Dr. Mask has taken his son to the Fathom event today. It'll be the first time seeing Wolfman and the Invisible Man. Yeah, we were going to go today too, but I woke up in the middle of the night at 2 o'clock and couldn't get back to sleep. So I've been up since then, stressing about things I have to do for fulfillment, things that have to get done, in the process of fulfillment for Alien Alamo. So, of course, there's nothing you can do at 2 a.m, but once it gets in your head, you can't get rid of it. So I got up, I watched Gargantuas, and I finished the Sunshine State strip. So I'll probably be napping this afternoon, even though I wanted to see those movies. Nick Adams was way more professional than Russ Tamblyn. Even Henry Saperstein talked about it. Yeah, I think it was Saperstein said he was a colossal asshole. I think that was his quote. Kaiju says he wished he could see this and the Monster Zero double feature. When I saw it, it was a double feature, but it wasn't with Monster Zero. It was with Godzilla's Revenge, because Godzilla's Revenge had just come out. Excuse me. So that was the A movie, or the first movie, and then Gargantuas was the second movie. I liked them both, but Gargantuas was definitely more, to a 10-year-old adult, if you will. I watched it free on HBO Max yesterday. Totally worth it. This version mentioned Frankenstein many times. Okay, great. Yeah, so you saw the original dub version. Delaware Comic Dude says Godzilla versus Kong was such a King Kong was such a disappointment for me too. That monster fights were good, but human characters weren't even serviceable. They were literally absolutely annoying. Oh yeah, don't even get me started on this one. You know, when when you can't hit a ball off a tee, you got a problem. This thing was just lined up. You know, it was right. It was a softball on a tee, and you had like a big Bertha bat. I mean, how you missed that thing? And they missed hard. You just need a plausible reason to bring these monsters together. You don't have to bog it down with all that crap. And then there was the little girl communicating to King Kong, who who had to do it by signing, right? She's got these little hands because she's just a little girl anyway, which a human couldn't see from 10 feet away, 20 feet away, let alone 400 feet, 500 feet, 1,000 feet. However tall Kong is, he's as big as a huge building. Uh, he's going to see these signs, these hand signs, please. And then Godzilla being able to use his breath to blow a hole through the earth. I mean, shoot, if he missed a building in Tokyo, he'd lay waste to New York City if he could do that. So stupid. I still argue against Godzilla versus Kong. Not a terrible fight at the end, but getting there was a teeth grinder. Hold on a second. I just have to email an energy signature quick. Yeah, the CGI monsters were great, but just the characters of the monsters, the situations they were put in, and then the human characters just suck that thing right back into the hole that Godzilla blew with his radioactive breath. Oh, and King and Kong getting Mjolnir too. He's got his own Mjolnir and knows how to use it. Ugh. Sin Killer's got to go. Have a great Halloween. And Graham, don't forget to see The Crow. Be safe, everybody. You don't give me homework. I give you homework. Have a great day, Sin Killer. Thanks for tuning in. Rob Fell says, we were hoping she'd get stuck in his throat. Don't forget Shane's great cat book. Yeah, Starlight Cats. Yeah, it's a beautiful book. Revan Saber. Woohoo, Monster Mondays. Yeah. Why not start our week off with some good monsters, huh? Hyper Kaiju's going back yesterday a little bit. Tim Burton says he loves this movie and was very influential on him. Yeah, you know who else it was an influence on was Brad Pitt. He loved this movie. He says that this was the movie that got him interested in doing acting. So it says. Monster fan. Yeah, I thought I was the only one that hated the gesticulations of the deaf girl. Yeah, it didn't ring true. It's just not plausible. In any movie, there's a suspension of disbelief at times that you have to go into it. Particularly the more fantastic the film, the more you have to allow that. But once you set the rules down, you have to stay within boundaries. You can't just throw stuff out there all of a sudden expect people to believe it. If you are setting other things up as very realistic. And this thing, the whole thing with the signing was just absolutely ridiculous. Also, like how the female, was she a scientist or something like that, is telling a aircraft carrier captain, you know, what to do. Like that's going to happen. Yeah. There's two bosses on an aircraft carrier. The air boss, who controls the flight deck, and then the captain, who controls everything else. A female paleontologist or whatever she was doesn't get to say much. Yeah, Nick Cage is a big fan of this, of the Kaiju movies. Oh, okay. Okay, I think I got everybody covered here now. All right, my friends, tomorrow is the last day of the 31 Days of Monsters, but fear not. As I said, we're going to do Monster Monday the following Monday. But this is the last of this run of this year's 31 Days of Monsters. And so in celebration of this year's successful 31 days, we're going to do a double feature because that was always fun when you had a monster double feature. So originally I was going to do just the Mad Monster Party was going to be how I ended it. Well, I watched the Mad Monster Party the other day and it ain't good. there's a lot of nostalgia that carries over into that, but it's not a great movie. So I don't want to end on that. So what we're going to do for the double features, we will cover Mad Monster Party because there's some cool comic tie-ins with that and some interesting historical aspects. But the other horror movie we're going to cover is Wes Craven's Nightmare on Elm Street, which was quite the trendsetter for its day and gave us Johnny Depp in his first big screen role. So that's what we're going to do tomorrow. We're going to have a double feature. So it'll be at 9 o'clock, not 8 o'clock, because it's Sunday. And you guys have a great Halloween Eve, and we will see you Halloween morning for our double feature. Have a good one. Bye-bye.